Welcome back for another clan battle. You're looking at about 80 plus players, 40 versus 40. There's 12 rounds in total and it's a very close end. I'm commanding around 10 to 12 men and we are fighting for the Vlandians. Just before we start though, I just want to draw your attention over to the scoreboard. The scores are incorrect apart from you want to look at these numbers here. That's how many men each team has. So 38 for the Reds and 47 for the Empire. Each team has infantry, cavalry and archers. Any comments are really welcome, guys. Other than that, let's get started and have a look at the battle map. I quickly whipped this map up so you can understand the map that we are playing on. So we're the Vlandians in the top left corner spawn and the Empire in the top right in the desert spawn. I've drawn these little pathways, the left, the centre and the right, so you can understand the different paths we can take. So if I say we're going left or right, you kind of understand which part of the map we're in. Notably, the centre of the map has a very narrow bridge and there'll be a lot of action happening there. Alright, so let's begin with round one. Here we are formed up at our spawn point where there's a bit of a cave and we are moving out. This time we are moving out to the centre of the map for the first round. We're going to form up here. So the BRE, we take commands in like a hierarchy. So we have someone commanding each of our units. So here we are, our crossbowmen are watching our rear. We've got a nice formation here with quite a lot of infantry. And the enemy are already in front of us. They've crossed the bridge and they are going to engage with us for this first melee. The enemy cavalry is scattering around somewhere, but here we go for the first attack. I've sent my units in now. Told them to hold, but it looks like they've got a bit more weight behind their infantry than we do. We need to fight back. Glory to the Empire, my friends. Here we go for the first battle. Oh, I got team shot by an arrow, I believe, as the fight rages on. We're looking at 29 versus 42. They had about a 10 advantage on this one in numbers, which can mean a lot in this game, but doesn't mean you win default. I go down as the men continue to fight on. They've still got a 10 advantage at 26-34. And the enemy crossbowmen over there in the far right, can you see them circling around, getting some shots off into the exposed flanks of our men. It's not looking very good for us. 19 versus 27, we're still in it. We've got some crossbowmen here at the bottom right. But the infantry fight is about over. It's amazing that there's about 50 guys there and now there's only about a handful. But ultimately, my friends, the first round is going to go to the Imperials. And they actually lend us a couple of troops. I think it might be after this round, but they lend us a couple of troops, making it about 45 versus 45. A lot more interesting. So to start with, we don't really leave our spawn. We are kind of at our spawn facing the left as they come up on the left-hand side. Here they are. They go to take the engagement, but they notice our bowmen on our left, and it'd be a dangerous engagement for them to take. Although they outnumber us, those arrows will be coming in thick and fast into their rear. And look, there's our cavalry as well, harassing them. Good thing they didn't take that in an engagement, because that would have been messy for them. Now the order's given to me, the centre of the men. It's time to charge them. Now we have them on the run. We have other infantry somewhere, and it seems like the enemy cavalry are harassing our bowmen. We need to keep an eye on them so they don't come into our flank. Our rear. We do all have spears if that does happen. And here they are. The enemy Imperials are forming up. They don't want to give up. We don't want to give up. And the fight is well on the way. 33 versus 44. Cavalry messily smashing into them, dispersing their ranks. But this is the 13th Tagma and friends. They are good at. They are well disciplined, and they will not go down without a fight. You won't find cracks in their formation too easily. As we fight now, water spraying up, mixing with the blood of our enemies and friends alike. Swords overhead, axes overhead, but the favoured weapon in this game will be the mace, as there's so many heavily armoured units. Most units on the Vlandians are taking sergeant, and I'm sure there's legionaries only on the opposition. You may see the odd lighter infantry, but generally, anyway, the enemy cavalry is coming in and harassing us from the rear as the nail in the coffin, because ultimately it's 26 versus 4, and we go down to a volley of arrows. A great second round. It's looking a bit one-sided, but I assure you when the numbers come a bit more even, it's a bit more interesting. And this game goes down to the wire, so make sure you stay tuned. We move on to round 3. Here we are moving out once again. This time we are setting up where we were before, just outside spawn, facing towards the left before waiting for orders. Once our orders are dished out, we are going to act on them. It looks like some of the enemy are going to be coming up on our left again. But for now, we're going to wait here. I'm forwarding this on because if I show you this bit every time, guys, you're looking at like an hour-long video, and no one wants to sit and watch an hour. So I forward this up until the action begins, and here we go. We are chasing some of their infantry around the left-hand side. Our entire force is moving around this left, but it looks like the enemy cavalry is harassing us in the distance. We need to form up here and engage the enemy infantry. The enemy bowmen is over there on the far right side. They'll be firing overhead. And the fight is well underway as the charge has been given by both teams. Trying to keep an eye on the cavalry behind. Here they are. They'll be looking for those easy picks of an unsuspecting soldier. The Imperial Legionaries versus the Vlandian Sergeants fighting tooth and nail. As you see, the numbers are very even. They've given us some of their men. It was an even start to this game. Again, around 40 versus 40, I think. But I think a few more men have joined now since that on both sides. The Imperials are winning. The Imperials are winning for now, but only just by about 4 men. Cavalry out of formation are just running around, taking out whatever kills they can. I believe both teams still have cavalry members left. I'm fighting this chap here with an axe. Cavalry getting the nice picks. Look at the numbers now. They've got a 10 lead. Round 3 is going to go to the Imperials, I believe. They've just got too much on the field for us to deal with. And those cavalry are too hard to take out. If you haven't got support, I go down to a bowman. Let's move on to round 4, I think, as we move out again. This time we are moving towards the centre of the map, holding here until the orders are given to advance. So the BRE, we have several units of infantry, archers and bowmen. And again, we're all in a team speak together, but only the officers can hear each other. And we can't hear the other team's officers. So our commander is talking to the officers, relaying orders, and then we will follow them out. And I'm looking after one of those units that gets told what to do. We are the Aquitani infantry. Anyway, so the enemy is coming around on the right-hand side. You can see the bowman over there with a small unit of infantry. But what we don't know, well, they're also assisted by the cavalry. But what we don't know, they're actually their largest unit, the 13th Tagma, are going to be coming up in our rear very, very shortly. The 13th Tagma are the ones that lent us some units. And here they are now coming up from behind. We have to turn and face them as they try and catch us off guard. But there's quite a lot of us. It's going to be a hell of a fight for them to take. But the numbers are looking pretty even. There's 44-40 in favour of the Imperials as the fighting begins. Crossbowmen also getting stuck in, I saw. Enemy cavalry coming in, jumping over the formation. Dangerous, probably trying to get to our crossbowmen who are stuck in the rear. As the fighting begins. Oh, team damage there. You've got to be careful with your blows. Team damage is definitely on, making the game a lot more interesting. You can't just swing left and right. You've got to aim your blows. And they've made a nice wall here. It's a shame you can't hear what we're saying in voice chat, because I didn't record it because I'm awful. But we're actually saying right now, don't die to this shield wall. Don't die to the shield wall. Just hold them for now. Because right at the moment, they are taking a few of us out, trying to take down that shield wall. It's a beautiful shield wall, got to add. Probably one of my favourite I've seen in a while, during the middle of a fight anyway, to be reformed like that. And here they are, they're pushing forward as the numbers are now in our favour, 32 versus 25. I do a bit of a team damage there, I'm very sorry. And then some more team damage, not good. What did I just say? And we push some of them onto the bridge. I don't know what their tactics are here. I go down to a marauding cavalry man. But I get a better angle from above. As we see the Vlandians storming across the bridge. It's 20 versus 17. Very close still. Anyone could win this. Some enemy crossbowmen. See that in the far distance? You may not be able to, but those guys in the far distance, they've all got bows and they're firing nicely into the rears of the Vlandians on the bridge, making the numbers 15-14, practically even. 14-14. Now it's in their favour. They must have got some very nice shots. I believe it's the 14E archers? Oh, I'll regret if I get that wrong. But I believe it's the 14E ranged units firing us, and their infantry make the great decision of pulling back to their bowmen for one last fight. 12 versus 13. This one is going down to the wire. A couple of cavalrymen still on the field, but they won't last long when they're alone. It just takes one cavalryman to harass an entire team. Here we have 2 men of my unit still alive alone. They don't want to engage on their own, but they want to distract some of the infantry whilst the rest of the Vlandians come round. It's 10-13. It's 10-13. Not looking good for the BRE, the Vlandians. The first 3 rounds have gone to the Imperials. Is this the 4th round? I believe it is. And here the fighting goes on the left-hand side. The Vlandians are coming up on the right-hand side, but ultimately we are the ones bleeding red. And the final man of my unit is about to go down as the enemy take that game. 46-7. The first 4 rounds have gone to the Imperials. It's not looking good, but I promise you we will get revenge. We move on over to the left side very quickly this time, very quickly, which allows us to get a nice foothold over here. I believe the rest of our, yep, here they come now, coming up from behind. 44 versus 46. in the Imperials' favour, but that's not a big difference. It doesn't mean anything, as we are about to advance up here past their spawn point. They're formed up very nicely as we walk on up to meet them. They believe they start to fall back, tactically falling back. The enemy cavalry's there, the enemy bowmen there on the left-hand side. The orders are given for charge for the Vlandians as we move on in. Ooh, don't get hit. I'm low damage, I'm low HP already. Trying to lead by example is not doing good for me, as the rest of our forces are pushing on the left side to try and get around them as the fight continues. Yellow shields are looking menacing, but the red shields are pushing up. We're the ones gaining ground. I go down. A bit too cocky there with some liberal swinging, but look at that view of the fight. That's a great looking fight there. Reds everywhere, yellows everywhere, cavalry. Oh, some nice yellow cavalry charging from behind. I believe they're also the 14E Gaming clan coming in from behind with that nice flank. The numbers are 32-23 in the favour of the Vlandians. Although it looks like the yellows are doing well with those cavalry charges, our infantry is making good work of theirs, bringing the number to 10 advantage to the Vlandians. It looks like we're going to win this one at the moment, but you do not know yet. If a match isn't very close and one team's winning, I'll probably end it early. But if it is close, I'll watch it right to the wire, guys. So if I ever cut it short, know that it's just because it was just an absolute steamroll. One team battered the other. But anyway, the fight continues on, 16-10 in the Vlandians' favour. Although it may seem we're going to win this one, I'm not too sure. It was a couple of days ago when I recorded this. So I don't know what happens each round. It looks like we've got a couple of cavalrymen running around, but they've got just as many running around as well. 14-8, still in our favour. They need to fight their hearts out. But it looks like a couple of their cavalrymen are going down. 13-7 in our favour. There's a lot of their cavalry running around still, not going down. 12-5. I think this one's going to go to us. The BRA, the first round to us. 1 us, 4 them. Not looking good as we move on out for the next round. Here we are, moves time. We're moving over to the centre again, where we'll be forming up in the centre to see what the enemy do. Holding this choke point, that is the bridge. But look, the enemy has came up on our left-hand side. We didn't notice that, but we are gonna change formation and form up in front of them and get ready to charge. Get ready. The order's given, and here we go. Charging forward. I believe I tell the men to push up on the left-hand side as long with my sergeants as we engulf them. The cavalry and bowmen need to act quick if they want to save them. They've made a bit of an error here by being caught out alone without any support, because all of our infantry have just engulfed theirs as we take them down one by one. It's 45 versus 42. The numbers are still very even, but they are sandwiched there as their cavalry come in for this side flank. They're going to have to do better than that. Oh, I've just stabbed our king's horse. Not good. I don't think he noticed it was me though. But it looks like their infantry are going down as the numbers are going down quickly for the Imperials. As I see a lot of dead yellow shields on the floor. I'm just looking around as a member, as the officer of my unit. I need to keep an eye on the overall fight and make sure that the men are doing what they need to do. So I won't always be getting stuck in. I'll be looking around. My men shouldn't be doing this. They should be getting stuck in with the previous order, which was charge. 32 versus 25, and we're just clearing them up now. Just sweeping the field. So it's not much to see. There's no real proper engagement here. Just fleeing men, slowly getting cut down. With no cohesion on the enemy side, we finished them off. We head over to their side of the map. Finish off a couple of cavalry guys. They put up a good fight. I go down. But actually, we're getting to the end of this fight here. It's 13 versus 8. Our infantry are pushing round. We eventually chase their archers to the centre of the map. It's quite a long round. So that's why I skipped and forward some of it. Because you don't really want to watch us just chasing guys for 20 minutes. Unless you do, I don't know. But ultimately, we take that round. But they do a very good job at lasting as long as they did. This is actually one of the longest rounds. But a lot of running. As we spawn again for round 6? 6, what was it? Yeah, round 7. Okay, we've won 3, they've won 4. And we move on out. This time we're quick again to go around to the left side, because that seemed to work very well for us the time previously. As we come up here and we keep forming up on the left side. I'm only forwarding it because there's no engagements to be seen yet, as we are all pushing up. They have pushed, I guess, to the centre of the map as we go across the choke hold in the middle. And we're back to our side of the map again. No engagement has really happened yet. There may have been the odd death, but nothing noteworthy, as the cavalry are playing the scouting game. And engagement has begun on the left hand side, and I lead my men round this right bit here to the right side of the map where we're about to catch them in a good spot. We chased them over that bridge and now they're coming over the bridge. It just shows you how much running around we've been doing. But the engagement has begun, the charge has been given, and we gained them in a bit of a sandwich here as our cavalry come from the right, some other infantry come from the left. Their cavalry also coming to get stuck in. I hit the king again. I hope he doesn't see this video, he probably will. And here we are, we'll push him across the narrow bridge. I don't know what their fort is here, but maybe they could hold us long enough for their friends to come back and do some good damage. I go down again. I'm not having the best game here, guys, but it's not about me. It's about the overall picture. It's 34 versus 29, still very close, very winnable for either side. Look how well they're holding on that bridge. Considering we just flanked them from 3 sides and they pulled back nicely onto that bridge. That's a very nice move by them to last that long. But it looks like we're getting some picks somewhere. We're getting the kills because it's 29 versus 20, nearly 10. It's now a 10 advantage. A couple of enemy cavalry around. I think a lot of them got taken down by our bowmen and cavalry. As we've now broken through in the centre and we're chasing nose left as they die, either bravely or as cowards fleeing. Moving on to the next round once again. We're on round 7, 4, 5. Oh god, guys, sorry. Oh, don't worry about it. It will be on the screen what round number it is. As we move now to the left side of the map, but near the centre. As we're down here, rather than going far left, there's like a small passageway up here. As you can see, the Imperials are now blocking. I think the orders are to smash them here, but we will see. So we'll form me up here, and that's our leader there, the guy who's going in first. And the order is soon to be given. Looks like we've got some cavalry fighting behind them. That's going to be worrying them. So now's the time to strike as we charge in forwards. Some of their infantry are looking backwards, but there's a lot of them in that small space. We need to push here, boys. We need to push. Hold on to that W key. Hold on to the right trigger. Right clicker even. So keep that shield up as we try to smash through. A bit of their cohesion is dropping of the 13th Tagma. Trying to get some kicks in as we're pushing them up. Taking these guys have been taken. Oh, Gala! Oh, I hit him earlier on and now I've killed him. Not a good team member, am I? As we push forward, but they are doing well. It's 28 versus 25. They are holding their own still, but it looks like we are getting the better of them. Some of that's the enemy cavalry in the distance. A lot of what the enemy cavalry will be doing is riding around as a unit. You always have to stay as your unit if you can help it, always. And then they'll be trying to pick off people who don't see them coming, namely other cavalry and bowmen. But of course, a nice cavalry charge into the rear of infantry can change a game. As we carry on fighting, it's 20 versus 13. This game is not over yet. I'm fighting a couple of guys here. I'll go down again. Probably getting a bit too cocky there, swinging away. I believe I was trying to save someone on our team, but again, I can't hear the audio of what I was saying. I'm really annoyed at myself. It's fun when you can hear my in-game talking to the men. I'll do that next time, but for now, it's 16 versus 5, and the Imperials lose another. 5 rounds to us as we move in front of the enemy. 5 rounds to 4 for the first time this game. We move on over to the left side again because we seem to be faring quite well over here, and it looks like the enemy is nowhere to be seen until we reach a bit further into their area. They're pulling back again. So, oh no, they're holding the ground. They're holding the ground as we slowly make our way up. The fight has not begun yet, but you can hear clashing in the distance. I reckon that's our cavalry and theirs. Oh, unlucky root beer. Should have moved back with his men. Fight alone, die alone. And the fight is beginning as some of our cavalry come in with a nice side charge. That knocks a few of them off guard. As the fight turns into an all-out melee, I'm out the formation already. It's probably going to be my downfall. I need to get back with my men. 34 versus 43 in favour of the Imperials. They've had a very good start. I think they must have taken out some of our crossbowmen. Got the spear out now, boys. 31 versus 35. We're bringing it back. We are bringing it back. Numbers don't always mean everything, but they bloody well help. 25 versus 33. We've got to keep fighting. We've got to be careful here. I take one down, but get taken down myself. Do not turn your back on the enemy. It goes down to 21-28. We've got some cavalry still there, but being chased by the enemy cavalry as the fight is a complete mess. Scattered all over this right-hand side of the map. Right centre, we'll call it. 17 versus 22. There's still a lot to be seen here. Individual fights, 2 versus 1s, 2v2s, 14 versus 20. I'm letting it ride, so something must happen at the end of this. 13 versus 18. So the Black Count talking in chat, he's the leader of the enemy infantry, and he's lent us a few men this game to even out the numbers. Thank you very much, Black Count. We always play with them. They're good guys, and they're the ones you see with that disciplined yellow shield wall with the purple hand. The other clans we also play with quite a lot with 14E Gaming. We're playing like a role play setting, so you have to obey rules like stay with your unit, no running around alone, that kind of thing. And we're just getting picked off here as their enemy bowman finishes off. Look at those bowmen, they've not even been touched. And here's Hootie. This is my second for this round. The last man to go down to 1,000 arrowheads to move on to the next round. I believe it's 5-5, don't quote me on that. And we are moving this time to the far right hand side at my request. So there's a bit of a skirmish phase going on. You can see the bowmen firing overhead to some other bowmen in the far distance of the Imperials. We've got a sturdy shield wall here. The first rank of the shield wall is crouching, so they can't shoot our feet. The second round stays up to give a cover to the friendly crossbows. So we're holding off 43 versus 44. Someone near me takes an arrow bolt. Friendly or not, I'm not sure. That's Thierry. He's our commander. He's just having a look, see what the enemy are. And he's given the command to move forward slowly to get ready to contend with the enemy infantry. I'm sure some of our units may be flanking around, but I'm part of the main infantry unit, so you'll always see it from my point of view. And here they come. And the order's given for charge, so we go straight in. Straight in. Shields up. See what I did there? I charged forward, but then I moved sideways, and I got in front of a couple of my men. That's not very good shield wall for me, from my part. But anyway, the fight is raging on as the fight goes to 40 versus 41. Some of our cavalry have came in, but I believe some of the enemy cavalry also is coming in. Enemy bowmen are still firing into the fight. I do a bit of team damage there. 35 versus 6. Very even. Very even. Maces flailing overhead. Maces do well against the enemy heavy armour. Well, they do okay. Some enemy crossbowmen there on the left hand side up that narrow passageway, getting some nice shots in. Hopefully some of our cavalry can harass them. It's 26 versus 32. The Imperial Purple Hands are still a solid unit there, fighting together. Very good. Very good. Fighting together is one of the keys to survival in this game. You know what you're doing, you're going to have a good time. 21 versus 22. 20 versus 20. This is going to be a real close one. Did I just kill... Oh, team damn, I didn't see that one when I first played. I'm getting some nice kills, but killing my own team's not going to help anyone. 16 versus 18. It's in their favour still. 15 versus 15. Who's left? I can't... Because I can only see 4 of us. I don't know where the rest of our team are, but I guess there's some engagements going on that need to finish. 14 versus 13. Here's some more infantry there. We're calling them back. We need to regroup so we can stand together. There's a couple of cavalry, enemy cavalry. But there's also a couple of friendly cavalry, which is what I want to see. Where are the enemy? I think they're formed up nearer their spawn down there, if I'm correct. I might be wrong. There's one guy out on his own. We need to finish him off, pick him off whilst he's weak. Easy. Spear is always longest, but easy to block. We're together. 10 versus 10. 9 versus 10. That man just got taken down because he's alone. Okay, we're moving across the centre bridge, hopefully to get around at the enemy bowman, who seems to be the last ones alive. There they are, look, just down that passageway there, using that wall as a bit of protection, but we don't really have any bowmen, so they don't really need much protection. Do we have any cavalry left? I'm not sure. 9 versus 10. We need to close that gap, though. They're moving out. Now we need to go. And one enemy cavalry I see with them. He's going to be a nuisance, but we have all got spears. He's got to catch us off guard if he wants to get a nice pick. He'll probably get me. 9 versus 10 still. Arrows are coming in. Here we are, we're closing the gap. 9 versus 10. Oh, we have cavalrymen still. We have 3 guys left to come in and get a couple of really nice kills there. Wow, I did not see that coming. And I played this already. Here comes the enemy cavalry, but he can't really get a good hit in with my spear out. He knows he'll get jabbed in the face as we take out the last couple of them. It's 5 versus 6 though. It's not over yet. 5 versus 5. Enemy cavalry still flailing around. Oh, 2 damage takes him out. One of our cavalrymen goes down. There's 4 of them left. 5 versus 4. Oh, I killed Dangon. He's a good fighter and I kill him. Not good. Not good. It'd be better if he was alive than I. 3 versus 4. They're bringing it back. I'm fighting with this chap. Flops. Get my mace out. The spear's no good here now. The enemy cavalry is still going though. It's now 2 versus 2. Down to the wire. Blood's going at this point. He's getting some hits in, my friend. Gets taken down, but I take out the cavalryman. And it goes to 1v1. I'm about to do something funny and foolish. His shield goes down. I put mine away. And I should know better than to attack against a down attack, which is a much longer reach than my side swing. One winner of that game. Well done to the Imperials as we move on out again for the next round. Oh god, I got 2 team kills in that last round. If I didn't kill those 2 guys, could have won. But it doesn't matter. We move on over to the right hand side of the enemy's spawn, to the centre, where we are looking for them. And looks like we've done a bit of a rotation. They're now on our side of the map, as the enemy cavalry are fighting somewhere. And the skirmish phase has begun, as you can hear the bows hitting shields, the arrows hitting shields, as bows are being loosed. Here we are moving forward. It's 34 versus 40 in favour of the Imperials at the start of this game. Looks like there's some red bodies on the floor. Looks like our bowmen have lost some. But not to worry, our infantry are charging the enemy infantry. The enemy crossbowmen there on the left. I think a couple of us are gonna split off and try and take out those bowmen to stop them from getting those well-aimed shots in the rears and flanks of our men. 33 versus 33. The game, we've made it even, and it's now slightly in our favour. Just. Cavalry going everywhere. I can't explain how often you will get killed by a cavalryman. The second you stop looking for them is the moment you die to a cavalryman. So you have to trust your friends to be watching your back, and you watch theirs. It's 24 versus 18. We're taking this one, my friends. Somehow, we're taking this one. We had the disadvantage at the start. We lost a couple of guys. But our infantry come out on top with an aggressive push as we chase off the remnants down here. It's 22 versus 14. I'm not really charging. I'm looking to see where all the men are and see where I'm needed. I believe the order was given to reform, but I tell my commander that I think we've got them on the run and we need to continue pushing, which is what we do. And they don't really stand much of a chance as we move into the next round. At this point, we have won 4, now 5, and they have won 6. Meaning that we've really got to win these next couple of games. It's 37 versus 45, outnumbered again. But we do not let that falter us as we storm the centre of the map, forming up here on the bridge, the narrow bridge, and the enemy crossbowmen are firing lovely bolts into our right hand side. See them? Absolutely wounding us. I give the order to charge. Although we have these bowmen hitting us from the right, we have to charge into them. We've got a very nice flank about to happen, guys. Get ready for this one. Some of our men will be putting their shields up on the right hand side to stop the bowmen firing in as we try and push through this dense formation of Imperial legionaries and I can't say Manalavian. And here they come. The BRE cavalry comes smashing into behind of the enemy infantry. A beautiful charge. It's 36 versus 44, but that is a beautiful charge. The kind of flank we needed to even this game out. 35 versus 41. They are losing men there. They're losing men as we fight tooth and nail across the bridge onto their turf. 33 versus 33. It's even. A great start to a game. A great start with such a disadvantage. That flank was absolutely beautiful. I don't know where the enemy cavalry were, but they were certainly needed then. I don't know if they can see some of them in the left-hand side up nearby. So we will have to deal with the enemy cavalry, but our cavalry were able to pull off what I believe is the greatest flank of this game. It's the way they came in there, all 4 or 5 of them. They had nowhere to go, they had nowhere to hide. As we took them out slowly but surely. It's 30 versus 18. The round is not over yet, but it's looking pretty darn good for the Vlandians, the BRE clan. So we're forming up again to take out the bowmen. There's only a few of them left. I got my mace out before I got my shield out, and that led to my death. But not to worry, my friends. The orders have been given for shields up and to charge to finish off the final bowman on the enemy team. This is the last and final round. The final score is 6-5. Yeah, 6-5 to them. A great game. We were slightly outnumbered in some games, so you know what that means, guys. Why don't you join us? We've got a whole team here, but we need a couple more men. You're welcome. It's very casual. Come whenever you want. There's no mandatory attendance. We just ask that you come and have fun and you respect the rules. There's a lot of respect in these games, which allows us to have these awesome clan battles. I hope you like my content. Keep looking for more. I'm not going to stop making these because I love playing this, and I believe it's the greatest version of digital medieval reenactment, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Anyway, without any further ado, glory to the Empire.